Yeah, but with low effort.
So you can see, obviously, it gets a bit chilled.
Mm-hmm.
My fuel there.
Yeah.
But the pressure knocked out one of these fittings.
Yeah.
And due to that, my engine's actually pretty cold from the expansion. I wasn't getting chamber pressure that I was hoping for. Even this is the nozzle throat, the hottest part, and as you can see, obviously, it's very far from you know.
It feels like effects of a low amount of sun.
So obviously I need to replace this, like my threads here, but what this tells me is that I don't have nearly enough fuel in here. So I think I'm maxing out maybe the flow rate of this valve. That's cold. Maybe the flow rate of this valve. Maybe the flow rate of my injector, but very unlikely. You can see there's a lot of gas expansion here, which leads me to believe it's probably this valve, but I'm not really sure at this point. I plan on experimenting with other fuels, alcohol. The big one I'm looking forward to is gasoline, which is a very, very combustible hydrocarbon, as you know. Very dangerous, but the idea is the atomizer in here will vaporize that, combine that with the oxygen to get me some serious thrust, as opposed to propane and everything, which is, a very small hydrocarbon, not nearly the energy.
What's an atomizer?
Oh, atomizer. Basically vaporizing the fuel. Traditionally, it uses not traditionally. Most historically, it was a pipe going through a larger pipe, and as the air blew through this pipe, the center pipe, it would create a vacuum in the inside, and a liquid in a vacuum quite quickly turns to a gas. So the idea is that all blows out the nozzle and you get a gas in there, which is much more combustible than a liquid. And so that'll burn. I have one for my blast furnace to atomize waste oils and things. But the idea with this is that with a really small hole or intersecting streams, for example, that's why I have these two angles here, and the streams intersect at high pressure, turns into very small droplets and essentially close enough to a vapor for it to combust inside here. But I'm not getting the pressure I need from this. So what I will be changing this out to is a gasoline pressurized with nitrogen and press through here. And I'll probably use the same injector setup. Obviously I need to replace this injector cap with something that's not totally stripped. You can still smell a little excess propane.
Let me use Google Knows.
And yeah, that's about it. I mean, the chamber held up, it didn't explode, but then again, I did have a leak, and I'm not maxing out the flow rate of this chamber, which is nice. I'd rather have a chamber that'll survive and play with my fuel input than blow up my chamber. So
Right.
I controlled the explosion, which is good. So yeah. Not quite as exciting as some of my other tests that, went like catastrophic or whatever. But successful, nevertheless, very successful, so it's cool.
What was the most catastrophic?
So because I don't have the machining to build my chamber and everything out of one piece like I should, the threads where this meets here, there was a slight gap due to other testing, and the gases escaped, and hot gases going under a lot of pressure go very fast and eat away at metals very quickly. So I blew a hole inside the chamber and had some steel spewing out of the top. It was great. You can see it online. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. Definitely. Another one that was pretty fun was when the oxygen line popped off in the middle at a junction and hit the camera. That was pretty fun. What else? I melted a hole in the nozzle, steel nozzle that I fabricated. And by fabricated, it means really crappily arc welded in a garage. But yeah, it's I mean, the fact that this tape didn't even melt tells me that we're not nearly close enough where we need to be, but well, it started to melt, but the engine's not smoking enough. But yeah, it's a frost melted. It's coming along.
All right. Your finger's bleeding.
I know.
Yeah.